What's up creators, I hope you're doing well. This video is going to be very short. I'm going to show you how you can make the Kodak 2383 and Fujifilm 3513 LUTs work in DaVinci Resolve. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, here we are in DaVinci Resolve in the color module. If you go into LUTs up here, you're going to go into this little folder called Film Looks. Now this Film Look folder is installed by default in DaVinci Resolve. No need to install it or download it or anything like that. And here we have the LUTs in question. So as you can see, here we have the Fujifilm 3513s and then we have the Kodak 2383s. We also have two separate sets depending on your export color space. We have Rec 709 over here and then P3 DCI. So these LUTs right here are very popular with all types of color grading, whether it be for social media, for client work, and even professional colorists like to use them because they give them a very strong basis in terms of contrast and colors. And what they're trying to do is replicate the legendary Kodak 2383s, which is the gold standard of color grading or aesthetic that we see when we're projecting the image into the big screen. So most of the movies that you're going to see in the cinema, they're transported into Kodak 2383. Okay, so why make this video? Because when you try to apply these LUTs into your normal clip, this is shot with a Sony camera. You can see right here, I have this node, which is just a correction for the contrast. But if I create another node, and then I try to apply one of these LUTs, let's say the Kodaks, you can see that it doesn't work. The contrast is way too harsh, and also we have loads of saturation. Now, what we could do is go into our masks over here and reduce a bit of the gain, but still it's looking way too contrasty, way too harsh. And that's because these LUTs aren't created for Rec 709 with normal cameras, let's say. So what we need to do is, first of all, let me reset this node. And we're gonna go into the effects tab over here. Let me close my LUT so we have a bit more space. And right here we have color space transform. And if you can't find it, you can always type it in the search bar over here. You're gonna drag it into your new node. And right here, let me just rename this node as color space transform. So we have a bit of knowledge what we're doing in each node. And now we're going to move some of the settings over here to make sure that this video is prepped for these LUTs. Now, the problem that I have right here is that not everyone converts their log footage in the similar manner. Some people use color management, some people use color space transform, others use conversion LUTs, and some people, well, they don't need to convert it because it's already in Rec 709. Now, this video that I have over here, I converted it using color management. As you can see, this video is shot in S-Log3 as Gamma3.Cine, and I've reconverted it into Rec 709A for the timeline, and for the export settings also Rec 709A. So this video already has its contrast and saturation as intended. That's why in input color space and input gamma I'm going to use as timeline settings. Also, if your video is already in Rec 709 or you used a conversion LUT, I would suggest you use timeline setting as well in input color space and input gamma. Now, where does it change? If you used a color space transform in your node tree. So right here, I don't have any color space transform bar this one, but if you do have one, maybe at the start of your node tree, you need to select in input color space and input gamma, the output color space and output gamma of your first conversion node. Okay, so the first two, I'm not going to move them, but output color space, I am going to select Rec 709, and this is going to be universal for all of you guys as well. And then in output gamma, we're going to go all the way down into Cineon Film Log. I'm going to select it, and immediately you can see how our video has lost a lot of contrast and a lot of saturation. Now, I don't know why Blackmagic decided to use Cineon Film Log as the base for these LUTs, but is what we have. So now we can close our effects over here, and I'm going to create another node after this one with Option S if I'm on Mac, create a sequential node after this one, or Alt S if you're on Windows, and this one I'm going to label it LUT. And now we can go ahead into our LUTs over here and select the corresponding LUT. Now, as you can see, we have three options for each of them, and it just varies in terms of temperature, white balance. So we have D55 is going to be our warmer one for the Kodak, then D60 is going to be a bit more neutral, and D65 is going to be our colder one, and the same thing applies for Fuji. And well, as you can see, we still have a lot to do if we select any of these ones, so we can close our LUTs over here. And one thing that we can do is alter the intensity of these filters. So what I like to do is just group up these two nodes that we just created, the color space transform and the LUT, right click and create a compound node. And in this compound node, we're going to go into our masks over here. And if you don't see which one it is, it's this one, into our masks over here. And the key output, while selecting the compound node, we can move the gain up or down, and you can change the intensity of our conversion plus our LUT to make the effect a bit more neutral or a bit more intense. So at 0, this is our original file after my little conversion over here. And then we can apply more intensity or less intensity. And this is a great starting point because you have nice looking colors, nice looking skin tones, and a very natural looking contrast. So that's basically how you get these LUTs to work the Kodak 2383s and the Fujifilm 3513s in DaVinci DaVinci Resolve. Now, of course, as you know, LUTs are just a starting point, and well, not all the time. Sometimes you can just apply a LUT and it works perfectly, but other times, like in this case, for this clip in particular, I would go ahead and change a bit of the contrast, a bit of some of the colors, and fine detail with masking tools. But again, it all depends on your workflow, but this is just a great starting point, this LUT from Kodak, to start working. Just a little shameless plug. What I would do is maybe stack some LUTs on top of this one, some creative LUTs. So right here, I can create another node, go into my LUTs. And as you know, I have several LUT packs. For example, the spring pack over here. You can apply some of the LUTs over here just to add a bit more intensity, a bit more dramatism into these images. And I really like this one, of course. It looks fantastic. Look at this. Yeah, this adds a bit more quality to the image. Or Narva is one of my favorites as well. Yeah, just to add a bit more effect. Now, sometimes LUTs just don't cut it. LUTs are very clean, they change the color grading, the contrast, but they don't add any of the effects. Sometimes I want to go for more of a rugged look, more of a film emulation type of look, and for that I go into my node trees. And as you can see over here in my gallery tab, I have my C41 pack loaded, and these are basically node trees with film emulations. So if I zoom in just a bit over here in my nodes, and let's say I want to apply maybe this one, number 10, you can see that some nodes are being loaded up, and now we have a bit more of a dramatic image. And if we take a look over here, what it's doing is adding some bloom, some halation, plus the grain, more film emulation types of effects, and this works fantastically. So check out my LUTs on the C41 pack, and here we have different intensities of the filters. Some of them are a bit cooler, some of them, like this one, you can see that they're very intense with a lot of grain over here. Yeah, some of them are a bit more intense, taking a colder look, but always trying to emanate a bit of that film look. And then in some cases like this one, we go a bit more ham with the skin tones, with the saturation, and a bit more contrast. Yeah, I know, shameless plug, but a man needs to eat. So if you're interested in the C41 pack or my LUT packs, link up here to my shop. In case you want to support me, I'm very thankful if you can purchase anything over there. If you can't, don't worry guys, I'm Tony Fuentes. Cheers to all of you, and I'll see you in the next one.